Well, I always wanted to be a mommy, and but my journey to becoming a mother happened a little sooner than I expected. And when I was 17, I had an abortion. For 13 years, I never told anyone, and I lived with the shame and the guilt. And I prayed every night that God would forgive me for the sin that I had committed. It wasn't until I was 30 years old that I was at a women's retreat, and a lady shared her testimony of having had an abortion. And I'll never forget when she shared it, that she talked about not being a Christian when she had done what she'd done. And I remember feeling very just overwhelmed, because I had been a Christian and I knew the Lord. You know, I'd known the Lord all my life, but He just was calling me. Like it was this heavy, private sin that had never been brought to the surface, and Satan wanted to keep it there, you know. But God wanted me to be healed from it. I think, you know, He knew all that obviously He knows all, but He knew all that was going to take place in my life, and He knew how much I needed to hear that, and just accept His forgiveness for it and move forward. Shortly after the retreat, I was married to Joe, and what comes next after getting married? Having children, right? Although I'd been healed from the shame and the guilt, that was when the fear began in me. You know, I wondered if, because I had dismissed a child that had been given to me, if God would ever give me any more babies. I found out I was pregnant after a year and a half when we'd been married. And I remember coming home from the doctor's office and thinking to myself, I feel like it's too soon for me to be blessed. And I know that was Satan's lie, but it was one that came true, because 6 weeks after I had found out I was pregnant, I miscarried. Again, I remember coming home from the doctor's office, and I just dropped on my knees and I wept. And as I cried, I was reminded of the story of Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane. He says, Father, if there's any way you can take this cup of suffering from me, please do so. But if not, then your will be done, not mine. And I had wanted children so badly that I think that it had become an idol in my life. I just realized that God was saying to me, I can give you all that you need, and I'm more than enough. And that became the prayer of my heart. It was less than a year after my miscarriage that I had my beautiful baby girl, Isabel. And then shortly after Isabel, I had my other beautiful baby girl, Emma. After Emma, I was diagnosed with postpartum depression. And I remember thinking, this is punishment for what you have done. And again, Satan had a foothold on me. I found out I was pregnant with my third baby about 2 years after Emma, and the feelings of fear came back. I didn't want to be pregnant because I didn't want to go through the mental and emotional anguish that I had after my girls, and I was fearful of getting off the medication that I'd been on for postpartum. But God was good and faithful, and He blessed me with a precious baby boy named Matthew, whose name means gift from God. And He has kept me in perfect peace ever since. My journey of becoming a mother has run the full gamut of experiences, from dismissing a child to fearing that I would never have children again, to losing a child, to losing my mind from having children, and but then being blessed with 3 precious gifts of grace. My beautiful babies. I'll never forget the verse that I received on the very first retreat I went to. It was Isaiah 43:1, and it was, "Fear not, for I have redeemed you. I have called you by name, for you are mine." And I just think now how prophetic that was.